and welcome to The Only Show. It's ETTO's catch-up. Today on The Only Show, a very ghouly Airbnb.
And Master Chief arms up.
Ooh, his arms are up.
Bah.
There they are. Oh no.
Arms up.
Someone said something awkward on that other show.
Right.
Not this show. We don't do that here.
Nah.
That's that other
Well,
show.
there is no other show. This is The Only Show.
You're right. This is The Only Show.
Oh my goodness.
It's the only show that goes away for 3 weeks and then just comes back like nothing happened. Obviously, we haven't been here for a bit. It's been crazy PAX, then it's been crazy COVID, then it's been crazy next
Oh
week.
yeah, your freaking work situation
Yeah.
has been wild this week.
So that's why we've been away, but we're back. And I think we'll be barreling towards the end of the year with pretty consistent bits and pieces.
Yes.
Some fun stuff in store for sure. But I guess we should just quickly say, PAX, was it good?
PAX. That was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, as we said, the big dogs weren't there.
Yep.
Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox weren't there. But as we also said, going to the big stuff takes too long.
Yeah, it's always too much.
And it's always just a waste of time. So hung around the indies most of the time and hung out with a bunch of people.
Absolutely.
And it was freaking great.
Yeah.
The indies are great. I've met a bunch of devs that I've been working with, which is awesome. And yeah, just hanging out with like Joshy and Emmy and
Milk.
and just a whole crew. Milk. Just on and off throughout the whole weekend.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It was
So
good. I think that's totally the thing for me. I have very little to say of the convention itself. I think the fact it's a weird thing in that the big players not being there maybe lessened it overall. Like even though we were probably never going to go anywhere near them, it was an air of, because without PlayStation and Xbox, it was like Intel and Red Bull, and it was just a lot of promo stuff. And so
it felt a little advertising.
yeah, more so than I think
marketing
it
sort of stuff.
Yeah, it almost felt more a big expo than PAX, but the PAX Rising, all the indie stuff was great. I was working pretty much the whole weekend. I think I played 4 games, and that was all on Sunday, so I didn't really interact with it much. But yeah, it was nice. It felt like the most community meeting.
I was about to say that too. Yeah. If you didn't say it, I was going to say it. Yeah. Like the community around like Back Pocket and then the crossover with us was really cool too.
Yep.
Since we have so many of that crew
Totally
with us as well. Like it was just such a lovely group. You just, even me just walking around, just continually bumping into like people.
Totally.
All the time. It was awesome.
I feel like there hasn't been many PAXs where we're walking around and can consistently see faces that were like, oh, it's the person. And we're like, yeah, there they are. Which was lovely.
So cool.
So, yeah, totally on that side, it was great. Great evenings, I think. It was fun. And I think, overall, I'm excited for what the next PAX is, because I think there'll be a lot of learnings and stuff kind of. It was super good COVID-wise as well. I mean, I got COVID, but we've tracked where that COVID came from. And it wasn't the convention full of thousands of people. It was a single bar.
It was like a post event.
Yeah, it was a baby Jack Russell. I blame the fucking dog. It was the dog.
So it's probably it. Yeah,
and the French woman holding it. I don't know, because but we went to a bar on Sunday night, and there was a little puppy. It was a Jack Russell. Ben has a Jack Russell. He got very excited, so he went all over. And I said, what was the dog's name? But she was like heavily French. And I think all I heard was Le Puppy. And I'm like, wait, did you call it that? Or like,
I hope she did. That's so good.
It was very weird. I was like,
Le Puppy.
Le Puppy. I was like, okay, that's a bit lazy. But yeah. So, and also our panel was awesome. Thank you to everyone that turned out for that. Yes. I do think it was the best one we've done so far, despite it being the least we've ever done in a panel. Because it's always us.
Yep. Totally. It was so much fun. If anyone knows the Milkman, aka Steve, I think, because I don't think we remembered his name, but then I remembered the joke about dad.
Yeah. That's
he
fair.
being my dad.
Yep.
His name's Steve. If anyone knows him, like send him our way, get him in contact with us. We'd love to. Will's running away. He's going. I feel like he's run to grab the pin.
If you've seen this face, I went the wrong way.
There we
go.
Still going the wrong way.
There he is. If you've seen this face
there he is.
in your life, let us know.
I actually have 1 sec.
There we go. Same thing. Will he fix this in the edit? We'll find out.
They look very different.
Every
he looks like a very different man.
Every pen he gave us is a different face, but it's all the one guy.
So
if you've met him or have gone on a date with him, let us know and we'll rope him into some content because
that's right.
We know the other ones. We know one of them well. We didn't realize, but we know them really.
Yeah. So good.
Thanks everyone to turn up for that. I think stuff from that will turn up at some point. It's sadly not recorded in full, but there's some fun moments that will definitely hit the internet at some point.
Absolutely.
Cool. I think we're caught up.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? I have one more. I have one story.
We'll bring it in. There's that finger
from only a couple of hours ago.
Oh.
So I just went to JB Hi-Fi to pick up Gotham Knights. Because it's currently $20 cheaper physically, so that just seemed like too much of a saving to not get the physical, even though I would have gone for digital. Even if it was only $10 more, I would have done that, but 20's
a lot.
No. So yeah, I was standing at one of those, the game racks where it's like a small rack in the middle of the store and each side of the square rack is advertising just a single game.
Yep.
So I was standing on the Gotham Knights side, and there was a couple on the other side discussing, like they were on their phones trying to find like competitive prices of whatever game they were looking at.
Yep.
I was like, kind of like I was intrigued by their conversation, just what they were looking for. So I walked around the corner, just kind of stood next to them and looked at the game, and it was Cricket 22.
Oh my god!
It's the last cricket game I'd ever made.
Amazing.
And I was very tempted to say something, but I refrained because I talk too much about my work and didn't want to bother these people that just wanted to buy a game.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone considering my game in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was just a really cool experience.
How exciting for you.
Good. That was good fun.
Is the news exciting? I guess we'll find out.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Ah, yeah.
Amazing. What a segment.
What a way to pump up the next half of this podcast.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right. I'll kick things off with my number 2 news. I'm swapping the way I wrote them. That's so exciting. Now I'm pumping it. You can feel that. Yeah. The pumping's happening now.
I feel the pump.
Absolutely. This one is the ghoulish Airbnb. Vacasa, which is a US vacational rental company.
A lot of words happening.
Yeah. I wrote Vacasa 3 different ways, so I had to make sure I looked at the one where I wrote it the right way.
Okay.
It's basically a US vacation rental company. They've teamed up with Sony to recreate the Ghostbusters HQ, the big old firehouse from the films. Now, come with
as an Airbnb, you were saying?
Well, I was trying to. It's somewhere you can stay. It's not technically an Airbnb, but it's definitely you can book to stay in this place.
Okay. Sick.
It's not in New York City, unfortunately, but also maybe fortunately for the price, because if it was, it would be hell. It's instead in Portland, Oregon, and it's an old school 3-story firehouse that looks pretty much like the same thing, and then interior-wise, they've just decked it out completely. So it comes with 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, fully equipped kitchen, and a bay where the ETTO 1 is stored, which is sick.
Sick.
On top of that, it also has a ghost facility room, which I'm sure Milk, the Ghostbusters resident fan, would know what that actually is in the movie. But on top of that, as well as a dark room where you could develop photos, which is wonderful. It's from the film.
Who's doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. On a holiday trip. There's the desk of the Ghostbusters secretary with a working rotary phone that you can call out from.
Sure.
Upstairs, there's a testing room, and then the big drawer will be the rec room, where there's an arcade cabinet and pool table and all the fun stuff. There's also all the gadgets, including the ghost traps, the PKE meter, proton packs, the video analyzer, an ETTO containment unit, spare Ghostbusters suits that you can put on. All this, it's stocked with snacks, which are made, obviously, being like the Stay Puffs. And cheesy crackers.
Yeah, of course. That's sick.
Which is sick. And then on top of all of it, there's also a painting of Vigo the Carpathian, which is the painting that comes to life in the second film. So they're like all the way down to the finest details.
That's unreal. That's so cool.
Totally worth looking up as well, like seeing the photos. The bit that this is the weirdest detail about all of this.
Okay.
because it's sort of disappointing. And like, bear in mind, this is like they've decoed out this entire, like, it's a physical thing that like isn't being used, so it's not like that. It's you know, they need to put firemen back in it. The listing went live on October 21st, so just a couple of days ago, time of recording. This is the funniest bit. The listing was $19.84 a night because it came out in 1984. Now, you could have charged $1,984. Same gag, but they went $19.48 a night.
What?
Plus taxes. It got up to $20 by the end of it. But the video... so
$20 a night?
Yes, for this place. And it's not out of minutes because it's only open for reservations between October 28th to the 31st. It's open for 3 nights.
What?
4 nights. Like, so you can go on the site. It's still there to book, but every date is booked. But it was actually only open for 3 nights. So you can book it for Halloween.
But what? That's one person would have booked that.
Yeah.
A single person.
A single, or they would, a group of people. Oh yeah, totally. Just one nerd.
Like one group. Yeah, one nerd, one group.
Yeah.
Like $60. That's $60 for a weekend.
Yeah. In a fully decked out place. And at the end of it, it's like, oh, the money all goes to the like Firemen's Association of Oregon. It's like
the $60.
$60. That doesn't. It's fucking bizarre.
They spend more money decking it out.
Yeah, yeah. So
what do they do? What?
All I can assume is that it's actually just a fucking amazing promo for Vacasa, which is probably some form of Airbnb in America. So it's like, we now know, even in Australia, we know what Vacasa is. And so now that's like, but it's bizarre because I'm like, you've done this to this place. I assume it's not going anywhere. So maybe it'll become a seasonal thing. Like every Halloween you can book it. But yeah, so sorry, Milk, if you got really excited by that, you can't actually book it. It was only open for 3 nights.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you also wouldn't want it like, year long if you were charging $19 a night. Like,
yeah.
It's like it can only be those 3 nights, but you would think they would want to make a lot of money. It's weird. It's all very strange.
Yeah. Like if you're trying to raise money for like a good cause.
Yep.
Like
$60.
Nothing costs $20 a night to stay in.
No.
That's like the worst possible apartment you could find anywhere.
I just watched the Mr. Beast thing where they go to different apartments, different hotel stays, and it was for $50 they were in a caravan. Like it's
I wanted to. I have that ready on my TV to watch after this, but like
wild to watch. But yeah, that's the journey. We won't be going there unless they do. I really do hope they just make it a full-time thing. I don't understand. It's very weird.
Maybe it's like for now it's just the 3 days.
Yeah, as a cool
to build hype, and then later they'll just be like, yeah, it's open.
Because they also did this for Christmas a couple of years ago. They created the Grinch's Cave that you could stay in, but that was a similar thing of like a night, cool. And that was it.
Yeah.
So, Vacasa fucking going on there. I don't know. It's been 3 weeks.
That's so freaking weird.
Yeah.
But speaking of freaking weird, the creators of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared seem to be creating a game studio.
Oh,
which is that's cool and could be super weird. But there's a bit of little extra information in there that I kind of would connect with you and I a little more.
Okay.
But in a recent job listing, production company Blink Link, who is the company that created Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, which is a YouTube weird like Sesame Street style series that is for adults because it always turns weird and a little bit like horror-esque.
It's very Adult Swim, Tim and Eric esque.
Yeah. They announced that they are looking, quote unquote, looking to take our first steps into the games industry with our new initiative, Blink Games. Mm-hmm. So Blink Link, Blink Games. Blink. The listing states that the company has several game concepts in the works, but they are looking for a producer to help them sort of develop and work out how to be in the games industry and how
Yeah,
to
wow.
make an initial game. So they're looking for people with experience to sort of get in there and help them out because they've never done it before.
Yep.
That's basically it. But the little bit of extra information I got out of this was that Blink Link actually specializes in animation and mixed media filmmaking. Previously, the company had developed an episode of the Netflix anthology series Love, Death, and Robots.
Amazing.
I don't know which one. I was meant to look it up, but I forgot. Do you want to check that out?
Yeah.
And this one's also for you, as well as videos for artists such as Iron Maiden and Dua Lipa.
Yeah, wow.
So I wonder whether they made the anime Sailor Moon style music video.
Yeah, totally.
That might have been them. I don't know any of Dua Lipa's other music videos, but in terms of animation and mixed film, I would assume that's potentially the one.
I feel like we may have had this realization on a podcast about season 2 because I remember they did the Christmas one, the Santa Claus where he's a monster and he's really creepy and I feel like we went, oh wow, and it's the love and I feel like we had this realization on the podcast.
Yeah, it could have been.
But what is podcast if not just realizing things multiple times?
every time. I want to look up the Dua Lipa thing too.
Yeah, totally. But that's sick. That makes a lot more sense because when you introduce the idea that they want to make games, thinking of them as just the people that have made 5 YouTube shorts, I'm like, maybe just focus on being a company. But if they're actually just a visual effects house that also have made a couple of things, that's exciting. Because it
seems to be that.
The bridge between visual effects and game development is nothing. It's like the artists they have probably already employed are just going to walk into another room and work. It's pretty similar.
Yeah, pretty much. But they also just released the whole Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared TV series.
Oh, yeah.
Recently as well.
Right.
And they apparently also recently launched an animated Netflix series called Dead End Paranormal Park.
Okay.
That was super recent. So
how exciting. Oh, I wonder if the games are thinking of IP-based stuff like that or if they just want to make video games in general.
Yeah, because there's rumors that Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared could just be a weird horror adventure game. Super twisted and stuff. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah. If they're, if that's one thing they do, but then they make all these other unique IP that seem to get picked up pretty well.
They just must have amazing ideas in general.
Yeah. Just a really, really good creative team.
That's sick.
Cool. There you go.
Well, speaking of creative things, if there's one thing comic books love doing, it's making characters old. And the Batman universe has been doing a couple of old ones recently. They've all been titled Batman One Bad Day. And so obviously coming off the back of The Killing Joke, the idea that one bad day could send a character spiraling and something worse could happen. So far, there's been a Riddler one, a Two-Face one, a Penguin one, but the most the next one that's coming out in January next year is Batman One Bad Day Bane, which I hate because you've got the title. It's One Bad Bane. It's it's a fun pun. But
it totally would have worked.
I hate that I have to read One Bad Day Bane. It sounds silly. One dad Bane.
one dad Bane.
There we go. But this is really exciting. For me, the writer and artist, two separate people, but Joshua Williamson. Oh my God. It's us, Joshua Williamson.
It's our son.
He's combined. Yeah, we were really
Josh and Will's son.
So creative with the name. What shall we call him? Joshua William Son. And then the artist Howard Porter. Both worked on Deathstroke Inc., which I really enjoyed. Nice, so it came to that. And then Joshua Williamson wrote for The Flash from 2016 to 2020. I just wrote 202. He went back in time. 2016 to 2020. 1 to 101. So he for 101 straight issues was the lead writer on The Flash, which is sick. In and out, Howard Porter.
It's like a Dan Slott.
Yeah, totally.
Amount, which writers don't usually get these days.
No.
They're usually like, 16 issues maybe, and then they're gone.
And then either the series is dead or, they swap out someone else. So, yeah, good writer. I'm keen to see what he does. And the premise of it is decades from now, Bane is a washed-up wrestler reliving his glory days in the ring, defeating someone dressed like Batman every day. So like people are coming to see him kill Batman as a bit, which is cool.
Awesome.
But when he discovers that there's a new source of venom in the world, he'll do everything he can do to shut down the facility it's coming from for good and make sure that no one else takes the poison that ruined his life. Which I'm like, that's cool.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
I like that.
So he's like kind of an anti-hero sort of thing, I guess, or like reformed.
Yeah. He's and I guess has come down off the poison. Like it's like he's aware of what's happened. But just sounds super cool. It's 64 pages, so it's a chunky boy, which is very exciting.
So it's just a single issue.
Yeah, so they're all one shots. All
just
these
one-off?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'd love to check out the Riddler and Penguin and stuff as well. But yeah, this one's 64 pages, January next year, and then the one that will happen after this, which I haven't really talked about yet, is Mr. Freeze, and that one will probably be pretty cool too if the premises are like this. So yeah, it's sick.
Wonder if they're just all going to be on the DC Universe. What's it called? DC Universe?
Yeah, DC Unlimited. Is it Unlimited? No, Marvel Unlimited. DC Infinite? Is it Infinite? I don't know.
Sure. Could be. I feel like I've never said it. I feel like you and Ben have talked about it, but I feel like I've never said the name of it out loud.
Yeah. I
still haven't.
Infinite. It is Infinite. There we go.
Okay.
But it's Universe Infinite, so we were both right.
Oh, wow.
Fucking hell. DC, work on your names, you dickheads.
Oh my gosh.
God.
They're falling apart. That's insane.
Good. All right. I'm going to see if they're on here, but that's all the news on One Bad Dame.
Let's just move straight on. On October 18th, Halo developer 343 Industries announced that it will expand its partnership with Limitless Solutions.
Yeah.
A non-profit that creates free custom prosthetics for children with limb loss.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. In addition to its existing prosthetic collaborations with this company, I think, or maybe just with other companies, previously being a Master Chief arm and an Arbiter arm, which the Arbiter one is very interesting because he's got like alien hands and stuff. So giving that to a kid seems like a choice. 343 will work with Limitless to create two new Halo-themed sleeves, a replica of character Cat B320's silver and blue prosthetic arm, and a matte green Halo Infinite Master Chief sleeve, which is very cool. 343 wrote in their announcement blog, the Cat sleeve in particular represents a special connection between the Halo universe and Limitless' mission. As Cat was one of the first major characters in the universe that actually has a prosthetic limb.
Sick. That's cool.
That's very cool. So they're just creating her limb and giving that out to kids as well, which is sick.
That's nice.
After 343 provides reference files to Limbless for their designs of these things. This is just the process in which they make them and then get them out to kids and teach them how to use it. The non-for-profit builds and paints the prosthetics, gives them to the kids, recipients, or what the company likes to call bionic kids, which is very cute.
Yeah.
At no cost, and then teaches them how to use the devices through educational video games.
Cool.
Which is really cool.
That's
like,
sick.
I want to see this. I want to see this happening in action. It sounds super wholesome and really, really cool.
Yeah. I love that it's for kids.
Yeah.
I also know that a lot of adults will fucking hate that. It's like when you look at there's a lot of cool things for kids now and you're like, but I want.
Yeah, totally. So it says, this approach to training allows limitless bionic kids to enjoy learning how to use their new device and helps guarantee their personal-made bionic limb and sleeve function in a manner tailored specifically for them.
Cool.
The faithful and functional sleeves also, importantly, make sure the kids look sick as hell.
Good.
I think that was all in their quote. Which is awesome.
Fly.
So yeah, just super wholesome.
Yeah.
There was one thing that I was questioning though, because this is like, it's for kids, but every Halo game is M
Yeah.
or more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it seems kind of funny that this is just for kids, as you kind of pointed out. But
yeah.
whatever, I guess.
It's like
It's fine, but
I always find it cute that there's a Die Hard Christmas book, but I'm like, that's weird. Like Christmas book for kids. Anytime there's weird, like fun, basically get your kids to be interested in the thing that dad plays or mum plays or whatever. I'm always like cute, but also like odd that you're pushing them towards that thing.
Yeah. And I remember you saying, like telling me one time, you know, like Fortnite, like everyone's just like, it's a kid's game, but it's M.
Yes.
And you were never allowed to talk about it on Spawn Point.
Yeah.
You could never mention it. You couldn't answer any kids' questions. I'm sure you probably got heaps of letters from kids asking about
my favorite question
Fortnite all the time as well.
The favorite email that I've ever got, but we never said it on the show, was a kid without context just wrote, "Where can I find a sniper rifle?" Just that. Hi, where can I find a sniper rifle? So yeah, kids do play Fortnite.
That's awesome. That's so good.
And even stuff like bringing like John Wick and the Alien franchise into the game. It's like, excuse me, what the fuck
is this for?
Yeah. It's odd.
It is very strange.
Very odd. But lovely story. Very wholesome story.
So good.
Not so wholesome and not so lovely. Biccies go bye-bye, as I've written. The much-loved classic Arnott's variety pack has been taken from stores.
What?
Yes. I'm back again to tell you about lifts. I'll tell you about batteries, and now I'll tell you about Biccies. The company has confirmed, due to ongoing low sales and limited shelf space in supermarkets, don't know how you can lock that down. How the fuck do you know about small spaces? That's not what they said. The difficult decision has been made to stop production of this product. This line, we hope you'll find another Arnott's biscuit to enjoy in its place. That's not how favorites work.
No.
You can't find another one. I've chosen this, and you've taken it away from me. I can't then
And you said this was the assorted one, right?
Yes. Like the one.
So it's not like, it's not like, you know, find a singular biscuit. Like
No.
this was like 6 different biscuits.
I could thrive off one thing, and now I have to buy other things.
Yeah, now I have to buy like 6 of them to have any of them at one time.
Yeah. Now,
What?
It is an odd thing because, like, obviously the individual biscuits aren't going. You could still buy them separately.
Yeah.
But the idea that this staple of Australian cuisine is gone is baffling.
That's crazy. Like, if they're still making all the biscuits,
What's stopping you?
what's the problem from just, like, it's just a bit of extra packaging. You've already got the molds.
Yeah.
You've already got everything you need.
Yeah. I don't get it.
It's purely just to save space in a supermarket.
Yeah. Apparently people don't buy them, but, like, everyone, that's the thing. Like, if you go to a
always
hospital or you go to an old person's home, kind of the same thing. It's just filled with biscuits from the favorites box. That's it all. Anyway.
So weird.
In a statement to 7 Life, an Arnott's spokeswoman said, we can confirm that the Arnott's variety biscuit packs have not been deleted variety packs because Australians can have a couple of other options to enjoy, including our high tea favourites. So here's the issue. What they've done is they've taken away the favourites one and they've created 3 other favourites boxes.
Oh.
There's cream favourites, which sounds terrible, but yeah, cream favourites, family favourites, and high tea favourites. So now you cannot buy a favourites that has cream and normal biscuits. They've separated them.
No, that sucks.
Because it's like, who the fuck wants to buy cream? Who wants a box of just cream biscuits?
Yeah, you want the variety.
That's the point of a fucking variety pack.
Yeah, you need different things. Oh my gosh, it's so annoying.
So the only one that kind of does is the high tea favourites, which has 2 normal and 2 cream, but that means you only get 4 different biscuits, whereas the favourites had 6. So no matter what way you look at this, it's shit. It's a shit deal. Yeah, so there you go. It
reminds me of that the new what was it? Is it Bega or someone or Arnott's? Was it Arnott's that did it? Oh, I think it was Primo did it. There it is, like Jats, cabanossi and cheese and stuff like that. But then one of them is ham, cheese, and an Arnott's Hundreds and Thousands biscuit.
You can't make a snack with that.
No, like every other pack is like, you know, a Jat and
there it is.
Cabanossi and cheese. Like it's like solid. But then this, and like the way they package it, they have like a stack of them as if they're meant to go on top of each other.
Oh.
And then when that came out, people freaked out, and the company's like, no, you don't eat them together. And it's like, well, why'd you package them together?
Yeah.
Why am I just eating a piece of cheese and a piece of ham?
That's fucked.
And a hundreds and thousands cracker.
Yuck.
What is going on? Also, it's really bizarre.
The packaging is really weird because it's like mild twiggy bits and tasty cheese, and then the logo for hundreds and thousands. Like even the fucking packaging is confused. And under the words really under the words Arnott's hundreds and thousands, it says source of protein. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then the cheese just is sitting there. No one's talking about the cheese.
It's so weird.
Oh my God.
So freaking strange.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it looks like there's actually, like some of these look really good. One of them, there's a...
The shapes
there's
one?
like, there's like 3 different shapes ones.
Yeah, they look sick.
Barbecue and cheddar.
Yep.
Which seems great. Jat's the perfect like cheese and cabanossi combination.
Yeah.
But then like hundreds and thousands? What were they thinking?
Yeah. Terrible decision. And much like so much in the fucking world, it'll never go back now, and we'll just accept it. Like, there's so many things.
Like, unless in like 15 years they do
it's back.
They do a in a biscuit situation where they bring it back and then it just explodes again.
God damn it.
Yeah. In a biscuit's still out there.
There you go.
It was harder to find initially, but now it's back with the shapes all the time.
People did mention though, they're like, maybe it's just because old people are dying. And they're just like, young people aren't buying it, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, because young people don't really buy biscuits.
No, I just get a pack of Scotch fingers. Like, we pick one, and we're like, that'll sit in the cupboard, and we're good.
Yeah.
Whereas, old people need them because they've got grandkids. Grandkids aren't being made anymore.
Yeah, because young people just don't make kids.
Yeah.
We don't care anymore.
They don't make kids, and they don't make eat biscuits. There you go.
Nah.
Maybe there's a tie there. Maybe because we're not eating biscuits, our semen doesn't want to come out.
Ooh, there you go. That's got to be it.
Yeah, they're not hearing. It's
the only way.
Our semen aren't hearing the rustling of biscuit packets, so they're staying in our balls.
It must be. We're not scaring it out.
Mm-hmm. We're not scaring it out. Everyone go see Halloween Ends. It'll make you come. Welcome to the Rec Seg is the end of the podcast. This is the ad read.
I was so confused.
Yeah. I surprised myself with that line. We still don't have any ads to read. Please send some ads to read. I know I said I'd make a sheet, but you can just fucking put it in the Discord.
Just send us something.
Just do it. My person I want to say thank you to is Mr. Milk Please, because Milk Please has bought me. Well, I bought it. He's picked it up. A Spangler's Neutrino wand from Ghostbusters, because it was a HasLab item, so you kind of had to pre-order it. And it would specifically come in for you, but then they always get like 2 or 3 extra ones, and all of them are sold out in basically every state except for where he lives. And so he's bought it for me.
Cool.
And he's going to send it to me.
Very nice.
And
amazing.
I want to say thank you to Milk Please.
Milk Please, shout out.
Shout out to Milk Please. Shout out to
legend.
Follow him on Twitter. I think it's just Milk Please on Twitter. Posts good action figure stuff. So if you like toys, Milk Please.
A great guy.
Rocks a hat.
Person.
Yeah, rocks the hat as well. Rocks the Milk Please hat. Shall we move on?
Let's move on.
All right, it's time for...
Oh, no, that's not
That's right. It's time for the Rec Seg.
I don't have audio this time. Yeah. Usually I get audio in this, but not this one.
Josh doesn't know what's going on.
Nah, never.
Cues from You is where we answer cues from you. If you want to submit a cue, head to the Ask ETTO channel in the Discord. There's a Google Sheet there. Chuck some stuff in there. Google Form. They're all just the same thing. It's the same HTML source code. They've just changed. HTML how to stroke. Let's check out some cues. I did have one. The first one I'm going to take is from Miss Dion. And it's, do you think it's preferable to read the source material before watching a movie or TV show, or to go into it cold? Example, I haven't read the Sandman comics, so he definitely submitted this question 3 months ago. Should I read it before watching the Netflix show or just watch the show? I hope you've watched the show by now. I hope you didn't wait.
Please.
Josh, what do you do here?
I like to think that I would read the comics first, but often I probably won't.
Yeah.
I don't. I feel like a show should stand up itself without you having to read the source material first.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we do it all the time that's the point of Comic Cast.
Yeah.
Is basically to do that. And before that, we had the Comic Book Club, which we did that. Like we did it for
Umbrella and stuff.
Umbrella Academy, which, that was good. Like different, but just enough. But again, the show stood up by itself.
Yep.
So you didn't need both.
Yeah.
But they were both good in their own separate ways.
Yep.
Interesting kind of versions of each other. We did it for like Watchmen, leading into the TV series. Even though we didn't watch the TV series, we watched the movie.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we watched it.
Yep.
We watched the movie to see how it would compare. And that was a relatively faithful adaptation.
Yeah.
Pretty directly, which is cool.
Yeah.
So it kind of depends, but overall, I feel like you don't have to.
No. Then
like read.
Yeah. There's also the other element of like sometimes it can either harm it or it can spoil it. Like if the comic's better, then or book or whatever it is, then you just are like, oh, it's not as good, and so you have that. Whereas I think reading it or consuming it after the thing, it is nicer because you're not comparing it directly. It's just like, oh, I see where the film differed. Whereas when you have the idea of the plot in your mind, you're waiting for the beats, and if they don't hit them or they're not as good, you're like, oh, that sucks. And there's also the spoiler thing of like, in a lot of Marvel comics, you know, being aware of a lot of the heroes for the first couple of phases, there wasn't many surprises, really. Like, the things that happen in the stories are like, well, yeah, of course. Like, Infinity War, I think the general public had a far more visceral reaction to that kind of cliffhanger, whereas comic fans were like, oh, yeah, they did it. Nice. Like, cool. They snapped people. So there's that as well. So if you're excited for the project already, I would almost say don't. Like, just absorb it, and then, you know, you can do some extended reading once you've
go back after,
it.
for sure.
Yeah. It definitely is case by case. And then there's stuff like The Boys and Invincible where the shows are better. Like, they're just outright better because it's a lot of the time the same creatives coming back to it and they're making it better. So it's kind of like, it's useless to read the comics because they're actually just a worse version of the thing coming out. So it's totally case by case, I think. But
Yeah. I kind of wonder where we would have been on Thor if we hadn't read the God Butcher.
Yeah.
But then on that, even people
don't seem to like it.
Read the God Butcher didn't like it.
Yeah. But expecting him to actually be a presence.
Yeah. I wonder if we actually enjoyed it more because we weren't like super cold on it.
Yeah.
But there were other people that were.
Yeah.
So I wonder whether we enjoyed it more because we read the comics and had a bit more context behind it.
We could think about what he was doing that we didn't get to see. There's so many versions of this question, really. It's totally specific,
it's a weird in between.
Yeah. Good one. Thanks, Dan.
Cool. My question is from Laucat. I feel like this may be one of the first times we got...
I think so, yeah.
We get a question from Laucat.
Yeah.
So welcome to the Cues from Yous segment. It's not that one.
It's not that one.
Best sounds to sleep to. Good.
A chicken.
I was about to say, two main roads, being on the corner of two main roads.
Yeah.
Peaceful. That is where Will and I used to live up until a few months ago. It sucked.
Wasn't fun.
The apartment was great.
Yeah.
The location
fucking
was
road.
not.
Yeah.
In the past, I have enjoyed, it's not what I lay down in my bed and put on, but if I'm relaxing, just chilling out, just laying on a lounge or whatever, I like to put on lo-fi beats, Lo-Fi Girl YouTube channel.
Yep.
I just find the music on there super chill, super relaxing, and I just put that on and lay down on a couch and just relax, sometimes fall asleep.
Yep.
I I like that. I don't have like a sound thing, like a white noise machine or anything like that I do. But that or silence. I love silence to sleep to.
Silence? You just like you like him talking in your ear?
Yeah, that's it.
Aloy.
My focus.
My focus. The only things we ever say in his voice. Oh, good.
Do you have any?
I guess it's almost a white noise machine, but I like my air purifier has become something that it nails the white noise level for me, and it also just helps like purify the air. It's just a genuinely good device.
Helps you actually sleep. It's probably pretty quiet too, right?
It is.
So it's like a subtle.
It's a soft white noise, and it's but in turn loud enough that it subdues anything else. So it's like that's the only thing you can hear, which is nice. So yeah, little air purifier machine. And if not that, I do have like a playlist of music that I put on, which is good. Like it's actual like songs, not lo-fi beats or something, but a couple of tracks. But that's very like, if I'm like fucking struggling to sleep, I'll put that on. And then hopefully by the last song, I'm like, oh, I'm good now. And headphones off and phone away.
Nice.
But yeah, good question. Let us know in the Discord or wherever you're listening to this what your sounds are, because it'd be interesting. Is it just someone screaming? Like someone who just goes to sleep listening to Stitch? We'll find out. Then I've got one that I think is only recent. This one's from Very Confused Dolphin. I was given sprinkles on gelato today. Is that a normal thing? And it's a good question, because I feel like in the world of gelato, you don't generally add anything to it. Like, gelatos are generally very crafted in their flavors, so you should be absorbing gelato in whatever it is on its own. Yeah.
Gelato is very much like a custom, handmade, like lovingly made flavor.
Whereas ice cream, as you get older, you realize ice cream is pretty shit, and it's generally whatever you put with it is what like bolsters. Like, I mean, there's like a flavor there, but I feel like on the main flavors of ice cream are just actually sugar, and there's not much actually going on under the surface. So you add some toppings, so there's some different textures and stuff going on. But yeah, I think that's wrong. Also, I was given like, what happened?
Where did you buy it from a store, or is this just like, a parent or a partner just
scooped it out and
brought you out some ice cream? And what flavor?
Yeah.
Because if it was just like vanilla, or something, if it was plain, then add a little bit of something to it.
Yeah, but anything else, no.
Because
the chocolate gelato is very rich. Like they're very rich flavors. So I just like anything else is going to kill it. But yeah, vanilla, sure. So Very Confused Dolphin, indeed. Let us know in the Discord what flavor gelato you had that they fucked up. Good. Do you have another one?
I got one more.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with undisputed ocean weight champion of the world, king of the ring, Dolphin, the people's champ pants.
The pimples.
I tried. I almost
did
got the whole freaking thing.
You did.
So close. If you were wrestlers, what would your walk-on songs be?
Well, if we were combined, it'd be Spandau Ballet's Gold, because that's very good.
Yes.
That's very good.
Yeah. That would be very fun.
If it was a tag team thing, but individually.
Yeah. I have two. My initial semi-joke one would be Communication Lines by Morris Jones.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Which is a song I wrote and recorded. It's very, very big and bombastic.
Yep.
My other one, I just jumped onto my iTunes sort of thing, just scrolling through on my phone.
That's a good idea.
And the first thing that popped up, well, I got to B before I'm like, that's the one. And it was Blue Juice.
Okay.
And it just seems funny because I'm constantly injured, but Broken Leg by Blue Juice. Walking around on broken leg, I can't get you out of my head.
Imagine you walking out to that with a broken leg. Why is he here?
Ready to wrestle.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, that'd be it.
I'm going for mine. What would be a good one? So my joke one for me is Milkman, the Jake and Amir joke song.
Excellent.
Because I think that's very funny. But I would like to, because I feel like it would not actually mesh well with the wrestling crowd. I would like to walk out to Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa, just because it's so not epic, but it's a great song, and I fucking like the song. But I just feel like starting with like that low beat that song starts with would just be so uninspired. Although it could build. I guess it's the small part of the song as they're announcing, and then it's like, don't show up. That bit of the song hits, and it's like, I'm fucking out, and I'm in one of her like mirror ball dresses. Because I would be dressed as Dua Lipa as well.
You are Sailor Moon.
Yes, that's me, Sailor Will.
Amazing. I just sort of one more, which could be an actual serious one. Would be Salute Your Solution by the Raconteurs, which is Jack White's side project. Yep. Very big, like fun, upbeat rock song. I feel like that would just work really, really well.
Yeah. Anything Jack White would be good. That would be good.
Yeah. So cool.
Well, take it away, Jack White. Again, shoot us through some cues from you. We're running pretty low, so give us some updates. There's some chunky ones that we haven't really attacked because they would eat up most of the podcast. We'll probably save for a future, probably in the new year, just a nice AMA that we can put out in the break. But some fun, quick, rapid fire ones would be awesome. Speaking of fun and quick and rapid fire, it's time to bring in the Rec Seg. Not audibly this week, but visually, thanks to Dion. Ooh. So, listeners, I'm sorry you won't see anything, but for video watchers, there it is. It's the Rec.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh.
It's very cute little puppets.
Yeah, so it's like a Kermit the Frog style animated puppet.
Yeah, that says Rec.
That's so cool. And Dion, thank you so much.
Very exciting. And I like the Rec is like animated as well. Like it's a nice font that's doing some fun stuff.
And it's like the sort of, it's not just like one version of the writing.
Yeah.
It's sort of
it's
like,
got a nice pulse.
Yeah, every frame is like slightly skewed.
It's warbling.
Very cool. Love it.
Thanks, Dion.
Very cool. Thanks, Dion.
This is the Rec Seg. This is where we wreck things. Joshua, talk to us about some things.
Cool. So I've got some movies. I've got a trailer first up. Ooh. I watched... this was from like weeks ago, so this isn't a new thing. It's just some stuff I've been collecting over the last few weeks. I watched the trailer for Violent Night, and it looks insane.
Very good.
The David Harbour is... Santa and needs to like take down bad guys in someone's house.
Yeah. Looks
insane. Looks really fun.
So good.
So very keen for that.
Yeah.
And then over the last week, I've watched some movies that I don't think many people have seen. That is a joke. Ratatouille is the first one.
Yeah, no, that's pretty niche.
I hadn't seen Ratatouille.
Oh wow.
Before. All of a couple of these I haven't seen in full. I'm aware of scenes from them.
Yep.
But just hadn't watched them in full before. So Ratatouille, pretty good, pretty fun.
That's pretty good.
Wholesome movie.
Yep.
It's nice. My favorite part is the fact that, can't even remember his name. Not Remy, the man, the kid, I don't whatever. Know. Yeah. I think his name was like Linguini, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That obviously, because they literally can't talk, he doesn't know Remy's name, so he just calls him Little Chef.
Yeah.
And I just love that. It's so cute. It's just like, good job, Little Chef.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I love it. It's so
very
cute.
Sweet. Have you seen Everything Everywhere yet?
No, I haven't.
You'll know why when you watch them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to add that to a list of movies.
You should.
I have a literal list of movies that I'm watching with the person that I'm currently seeing. And that's going on the list.
Yeah. Do it.
All of these movies I watched with said person.
Yeah.
We're just actually making our way through the list.
Yeah, nice.
Next movie that no one's seen before, Little Miss Sunshine. I've seen like chunks of it. I feel like having watched it, I've feel like I have seen it, but I do not recall ever watching it in full before.
Yep.
So yeah, like all of the big moments and stuff, I'm like, I'm
aware
know
of this. Yeah.
Yeah. And early on, I noticed, like, weirdly, I noticed this inconsistency between shots.
Yep.
And it frustrated the hell out of me, and I had to rewind and show the person I was watching it with. But right at the start of the film, there's like a dinner happening around a dining room table.
Yep.
It's like before they leave, and there's a point where the mum passes the dad a bowl of salad. And for some reason in my head, like I was staring at the salad, looking at what was in the salad.
Yeah.
And then the shot changes and he walks through the dining room not holding the salad. And I was like, I was looking at that salad. Where'd the salad
Where did it go?
And then he goes into the kitchen and the shot changes again and he's got the salad
he's
again
holding
and
it
he
again.
starts like putting it on the sink or whatever. And it was just purely because I was trying to see what was in his salad that I'd noticed, because if I wasn't looking in the salad, I wouldn't have noticed that the salad disappeared.
Fucking salad fiend.
It was very bizarre.
Wow.
And the final one, because of a celebration on Friday, it was Back to the Future Day, so I watched Back to the Future 1.
Nice. And you hadn't seen that before?
So I'd never seen Back to the Future 1 before.
That's a shame.
No, definitely not. But it's such a good movie. There's so many. Every time I watch it, especially as an adult, I find more things that I'm like, that is insane. But it's great. And the person that I'm watching all these with has only seen one. Only seen Back to the Future 1.
Cool.
And didn't think that the sequels would be any good, because sequels quite often aren't any good.
Yep.
And I'm going to prove it to her that
Blow her
they
mind.
are good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
wait till you watch the sequel to Ratatouille. Ratatouille.
Oh, man.
It's just got a 2 in the middle.
Oh, yes. Amazing. So those are my movies.
There's your films. I have seen a couple. I don't think I'd seen any of these before. No, I hadn't. First off, I still hate Andor, and I've given up on it, and I'll watch it at some point in the future. I can't watch that show anymore.
Wow, okay.
Does zero for me. But hopefully, I'm glad people are enjoying it. I'm glad the Discord's enjoying it, but I just I fell asleep in the first 3 because I was tired. I fell asleep in the next 2 because I was bored. Like, it wasn't...
Sure.
I was awake. I was just struggling. So, sadly, Andor is being left to the dust. But I also watched The Black Phone, which is the Ethan Hawke thriller film. Really, really good. Like, really good. But it just is nothing interesting. There's nothing new in it. It's very good.
Right.
And so I can't knock it. But it's very... vanilla in everything it does. It's got a cool thing. There's some cool visual treatments of the way characters can communicate in it, which all kind of tie to the Black Phone, which is cool. But yeah, there's not really... I was waiting for the cool, we made a new movie twist, like the thing that I wasn't expecting, but it just kind of never happened.
Right. So it's a little tropey-ish.
Yeah. It's not even tropey. It's just nothing. Like it's just a good movie. Like it doesn't lean into any tropes, but it just kind of never does anything new or interesting. Yeah. But it's fun. Ethan Hawke's really cool. It makes me wish that he did more in Moon Knight, because he doesn't really do much until he's a psychiatrist in his mind. Other than that, he's just around. But good. I've got nothing to say on it, but I watched Ticket to Paradise, which is the George Clooney and the other person movie. I always forget. It's not Sandra Bullock. It's just, there's like 3 women that exist in that era of time. Josh will find. Really, really fun and like genuine delight. It's in the same class as
Julia Roberts.
That's the one. It's in the same class as the other movie that came out this year, which was the Channing Tatum one with the other one. What was that called? The Island? The tour of something? I don't know. It wasn't amazing. Clearly, it didn't stick in my brain, but it was the one where she's a writer and he's the cover model, and it's like a fun adventure island movie. There's a few nice movies. We're getting back to like...
The Lost Island.
We're getting back to like early 90s fun comedy movies where nothing is actually that important, which is nice because like for a while there was like 21 Jump Street, which I haven't seen, but a lot of films were trying to, and Superbad and stuff like where there was actually a really cool premise that helped the comedy flourish, and then we just people kept trying to do that. They kept trying to make the new Superbad and the new like stoner movie that's fun and like clever, and none of them were good. Now we're getting back into a period of time where we can just have like a very thin premise that allows some cool actors you like to have some fun somewhere, and that's really nice.
Kind of reminds me of the other, well, by the sounds of it, reminds me of the other, well, I don't know if he's done anything since, but George Clooney's film that I saw years ago, The Descendants.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I saw that at the movies for some reason.
Yeah.
Just needed the cinema experience.
Yeah,
for that
sure.
One. And that was just like a funny movie.
Maybe he is.
But it kind of also wasn't anything. Yeah. Like it wasn't anything too crazy or exciting. It was just a really nice movie. And seeing George Clooney, who's always just such a, like he's always a funny character. He's generally like got a bit of humor to him, but he's always super classy.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's like a dad in Hawaii, so he's always dressed in, you know, a button-up shirt and like shorts above his knees and socks with thongs, and there's just a famous shot of him like running down the street in his like sandals and stuff, and he just looks so dorky, and there's something about seeing such a classy man
in a weird setting
down the street in sandals and stuff, and he's always had that little bit of humor to him.
He's wild to watch because he gets so close to being like a Cary Grant, but he is still modern, like that kind of classy gentleman that's a little bit quirky. And he's totally that in this. The weirdest thing was, there's two things in the film that's odd. The first thing is because the premise is girl goes to Bali, girl falls in love with Balinese man, and they get married in a month. And so her two parents, who have been divorced, have to come together to be there, and they want to end the marriage, basically. But she went to Bali with a friend, and the whole movie, I'm like, Jesus, you're so familiar. Like, you're in something. And then at the end of the film, it said Billie Lourd, and it's Carrie Fisher's daughter. So I was actually watching Carrie Fisher the whole film. That's why I was like,
right.
What? And then I was like, oh my God, it's you. And the friend's like a fucking coke addict and like the loose friend. So it's totally like the Carrie Fisher type. So
sure.
Really fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The other thing is the film's all set in Bali, but it's entirely shot in Queensland. And because it was shot they were going to shoot it in Bali, but then COVID happened, and everyone, Tom Hanks to Elvis, went to Queensland. Elvis is alive. And the weirdest thing is the film constantly, they're like, oh, we're going to go to this famous location in Bali. And every time they get there, and then a complication happens where they don't actually go in the place, or they don't actually go. So there's like a beautiful sweeping shot of this like ancient temple, and then it cuts to them, and as they get there, someone just gets bitten by an eel, so they go to the hospital. So they never actually go into the fucking place. And it happened twice, and then it happened the third time, and then I'm like, I see your movie.
That's so funny. So do you reckon they like literally rewrote the film?
Probably.
Because of that?
Yeah, they were probably had all these great scenes that they wanted to do in locations, and they just could never be there. So something always prevented them. So
that's so good.
Really fun. And then the last thing is a film that I hadn't seen as well, which is Edge of Tomorrow, which is the Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, Live, Die, Repeat. The first night of PAX, when we were all German, the Thursday night before PAX is what I wanted to say. There was a Destiny event that I went to, and it was really hot. And I just, not like sexy, although they were all very sexy boys. It was very warm. And so I went back to the apartment because I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to be here. So I watched, I just didn't want to be warm. I'm warm all the time. I didn't need that. So I watched She-Hulk, and then I went back to the same bar and had dinner. Gus came down, had a little chat. Then we went back to the apartment and we're going through Netflix. And he's like, have you seen this? Yes. Have you seen this? Yes. Have you seen this? Yes. Have you seen this? And then eventually got to Edge of Tomorrow, and he's like, you haven't seen this? And I'm like, well, that's what we were doing. Why are you shocked? Like, you wanted me to say yes. Why are you surprised?
I'm putting this on my list too, because I do want to see it.
Please do, because it is...
You did tell me about it a while ago.
It is so good. It is such a good... It does things constantly that I'm like, I wish more movies were that clever.
Okay.
And for people that didn't know the premise, I don't really want to say it because it's one of those ones where the less you know, the better. But it's really good. Tom Cruise is really fun in it. And I know that I think I just have an image of him being a hard ass, and every time I watch a Tom Cruise movie, he's actually pretty fun. But it always surprises me when he's a light character. I think for some reason in my brain, I imagine him being an asshole, but because he is in life, I guess. But then he plays a really fun character in it. So yeah, check it out. It was on Netflix. I assume it's still there. Maybe it's on Disney Plus now. That's how things work. That's TV and film. You played anything?
Yeah, kind of. So I basically finished the Riders Republic main storyline.
Wow.
Which is great. I just accidentally kind of did it yesterday.
All right.
Finished that off, just did the last race. It's great. I'm going to continue playing it because it's just a lot of fun. So that was great. I also finished the Riders Republic BMX DLC.
Amazing.
And 100%ed it.
Shit.
So all of those 3 extra challenges that you get in every race.
Yep.
Done.
Wow.
Polished them all off.
Wow.
One of them was extremely hard and took me about 3 hours. Just one of the challenges.
Yep. Good. 3 hours.
Some of them did take me longer. There were ones where it's do this huge combo. And it's you had to do all these tricks in this exact order.
Yep.
And you couldn't do, if it said do a
leaper,
a backflip double tail whip. If you did a backflip triple tail whip, it wouldn't count. So it's you had to do exactly what they wanted in that order as one combo.
It's a good thing you were brought up on Tony Hawk, because I feel like there's no other person alive that would give a shit about this enough to be like, 100%. I need to do this.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. And I'm just gonna keep going through it. Although yesterday, because the whole sort of progression system is based on these stars. So when you do races, you get stars. When you complete challenges, you get more stars. And I was looking through the different level upgrades, and I'm currently at 750, and I think that's where you basically unlock the final thing. But the progression keeps going up to 7,000.
Jesus.
And I'm I am never getting there. I don't know if I
chip away for years.
Yeah, I don't know if I have enough, persistence to continue that.
Jeez.
I'll continue playing and keeping an eye out for fun DLC and stuff like that for sure. But not reaching 7,000. I'm not doing that. That's dumb.
Jesus.
So after that, I basically just went back to Steel Rising for a little bit.
Yep.
The Souls-like Elizabethan robot era thing.
Yep.
And it's fine. It's janky as hell, but
it's so wild that this is the one that you're this is my first one.
this is mine. I'm playing this. No one else is. Someone has to.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned at top, I got Gotham Knights. Yep. So I guess we'll be playing that tomorrow / yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
Tomorrow at time of recording. We would yesterday at time of release.
We have thoughts now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, that'll be my next kind of main game that I focus on.
Yeah, nice.
From tomorrow.
From yesterday.
That's it.
I don't think I mentioned it on the podcast. I can't remember if I did, but I'll mention it again if I did. I've played and finished Tinykin, which is the
nice.
The little I think it's on Game Passes. The kind of very retro collect 'em up. Game.
It's a Pikmin.
Yeah,
Pikmin-like.
Yeah, Pikmin-like for sure. Just a perfect game. Just there's nothing frustrating about it, and not in a it's a kids game, which it kind of is, but I don't know. I feel like having worked on Spawn Point, I can point to kids games, and this feels like an everyone game. It doesn't feel like a kids game.
Sure.
It's just the perfect thing. There's enough challenge. There's enough I've got this thing and this thing. What do I need to get to finish this puzzle? That isn't annoying because you'll get it in 5 minutes. But there's enough challenge for it to not just be simple. And it's only I think 4 to 5 hours. So I basically played it in a night.
45 hours.
45 hours. It's like a normal video game.
Crazy.
And I played it in one night. 45 hours. It was a long night.
Sounds it. Nice.
So I did that, and I'm pretty sure that's on Game Pass, so if you want to play it, it's there for free.
Yeah, cool.
And then thanks to, obviously we do work with Ubisoft, not you, but I, and then the Wii's that I work with. Got a code for...
Always working with Wii's.
Always working with Wii's. Well, I was working with a Switch, and I played Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, because we got it a little bit early, and it's really, really good. It's
cool.
I played like 5 minutes of the other one. I hated it. This one, obviously, the big change is that characters move. You got full control. It's kind of an area, but it's not grid based. And it is so good. It is made for me because I don't play XCOM. I don't play those games. So this is like taken the tactics angle, but steered it more into a game style that I enjoy, and it's super good. I played it on the middle level of difficulty for a while, and then it got to the part of the game where it's clearly like, oh, you know what you're doing now, so it's going to get harder. And I played like 2 missions. Well, I thought I played 2 missions. What I had actually played was 2/3 of one mission. So when I failed and it said restart checkpoint or battle, I went, well, I don't want to start somewhere within this battle I'm currently doing, so I'll do battle. And then it pushed me back an hour. Because it was like, the battle started back here. And it's like,
one battle is an hour.
It was, but the thing is, it was 2 battle. Like, I had done 2, like, half-hour things, and then I was at another thing. So I was like, well, I've done... This won't be... Like, restarting battle would restart the battle I'm currently in, but apparently that was a checkpoint, not a battle. Right. Which was fucked. So after redoing that whole section again on the middle, I just dropped to easy, and it's like... I'm still being tactically aware, but I'm not annoyed at the game. And as I feel like everyone gets older, that's how we play games. We're like, I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to get angry at you.
Yeah.
I just want to have fun.
Insane.
So yeah, super fun, and definitely recommend it. There's a lot of cutscenes, which is good as well. So it feels like a game, because it feels like, I finished it and now the story is progressing. And it's made in the Ubisoft engine that I can never remember the name of, but it feels like Mario Odyssey. Like it plays like Mario Odyssey, which is really cool. Because I feel like I haven't played a game on the Switch like that. In saying that, it is still very like fucking jaggedy, because the Switch is just really struggling. But it's good fun.
It's that's cool, because I remember the first one, first Mario Rabbids.
Kingdom Battle. Yep.
I remember that feeling more like a Mario game than a Ubisoft game for sure.
For sure.
Like it still looks very Mario.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Did you just get given that code because you work with them? Or?
Yeah, we had some early codes. So thanks, Ubisoft.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. I have nothing. I haven't read anything.
No, me neither. No.
This time. So
that's it.
I do have one extra couple of stories, because I nearly died a whole bunch of times on Friday.
No, not again.
Again.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to jam these at the end before we finish.
Yeah.
I just remembered them. So Thursday in Melbourne was one of the most beautiful days ever. Like it was sunny. It was a little bit warm, but there was also like a little bit of chill to it. It wasn't too like humid and gross. It was just so good. And then Friday was fine, maybe a little more humid. And then at night, so I went out to this person I'm saying. I went to her place, met her housemates, and we were going out to get some KFC for dinner. So we jumped in my car, started driving out. As soon as we got in the car, just
the heavens opened up.
The heavens opened, and it just like flooded, like literally basically flooded.
Wow.
So as we're driving down a main road. The KFC is probably a 10-minute drive away from her place. Hitting the main road, so 80 to 100 k's an hour, whatever. It got to a point where the rain was so hard that the fastest windscreen wiper speed
just wasn't clearing it.
Nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing. So like out of just pure fear, I pulled onto the side of the road on like a freeway, because I'm like, I can't. I cannot safely move in this. It was absolutely insane. And then once it died down a little bit, I pulled back out and just bucketed again, but only for about 3 seconds. And it was fine, so kept going. as we were driving down, almost at the KFC, there was like lightning bolts, visible lightning bolts just in front.
Holy shit.
And you know how they say like the time between seeing a lightning bolt and hearing the thunder tells you about the distance, and it's like depending on the number of seconds, it's like a kilometer or a mile away or something. One second. One of them was so quick.
Wow.
Like that was damn close. It was like the car kind of rumbled a little bit. It was terrifying. So we pulled into the KFC. I went inside, just stayed in the car, went inside, started to order. Within 2 seconds of ordering, KFC blackout. Nothing. Looked outside, all of the streetlights outside, gone. The whole area had blacked out.
Yeah.
After maybe about 5 seconds, 10 seconds, it all came back up again.
Yeah. Oh, so the microwaves started working again in KFC.
Yeah, but all of their point of sales were down and they couldn't start them back up again.
Yeah.
So they were like, if you just wait a little while, like we can probably get it back up. So she came inside just to hang out for a bit while we waited. Yeah. And then probably at 15, 20 minutes of waiting, nothing had happened again. The lights the entire time were still flickering on and off as well.
Good.
Which they were just like, what the hell? And they looked at the ground at one point and were like, where was that puddle? Where did that puddle come from? There's just a puddle in the center of the store. Wow. So they're like looking at the lights like...
there's water in them.
Leaking and stuff. Like it was freaking weird. And then after waiting about 15, 20 minutes, total blackout again, didn't come back. So the manager evacuated everybody, got everybody out, and then we just left. So we drove down the road to the next area that didn't have... that wasn't in blackout. And you could tell because just suddenly there were just lights. Just no one else had lights, and then suddenly like street lights were just on. Yeah. It was a direct line of where the power
Holy shit.
changed over. It was crazy. So we went into that KFC, got our KFC, drove back. Yeah. And then when we were driving back through where the blackout was, it was still blacked out, which means there was no traffic lights.
In the rain.
On like freeways, and these are like main roads that are like crossing over. Yeah. And so, there's cars coming this way at like 80 Ks, cars coming this way wanting to go through, but no traffic lights. Yep. It was really freaking weird and stressful. It sucked. Anyway, so what turned into, a 10-minute there, 10-minute order, 10-minute back trip. We left at 8 o'clock and got back at 9:30.
Jeez.
It was awful.
I'm just shocked that there was a KFC, another one that close.
Yeah, it was only like 10 minutes away.
Yeah, wow.
Like you expect that from McDonald's, but not generally KFC.
I think I know one. I just know one KFC.
Pretty much. Yeah. And then after that, this is the part where I really legitimately could have died. Yeah. Okay. So
not from the KFC.
Not from the. Yeah. That's probably it. Yeah. I ate dinner and nearly died.
Yeah, you nearly died.
No. So when I was actually driving home, from there, the rain had simmered down a little bit. It was still raining a fair bit, but it wasn't as bad. So going down this main road again, 100 Ks left lane, and suddenly out of nowhere, I hit just like a 20 to 30 meter long, like half foot to 1 foot deep puddle. Like it just had flooded just in that lane. Yeah. At like 80 to 100 Ks. Just fully into it. Water. Freaking wild. Like I've never experienced fear like that in my life. It was just like a wave of water just up. I couldn't see anything for a few seconds of like going at that speed. Yeah. But also hitting at that speed, you slow down very quickly.
That's my least favorite thing in the Forza games lately. When you hit the water and the car just stops.
You go. Realistic. Which could, if I did crash, could have actually saved my life.
Yeah, that's true.
It slows you down to a fairly like low speed. But I did lose control of the car a little bit. Did sort of slide a little bit. I felt it just definitely did not have control. Yep. It was pretty late, so there weren't many people on the road, but there was someone driving directly next to me.
Cool.
But I think they had noticed or whatever what had happened. Yeah. And without me even
Moved
realizing,
out.
because I couldn't see anything, they moved to the next lane over.
Cool.
And when I was able to see, I was like mostly in their lane.
Yeah,
where they
wow.
were.
Holy shit.
So I had just lost and slid into them. So I would have almost hit them.
yeah.
But they had thankfully
Moved around.
thought quick and moved out of my way
Shit.
because of what had happened. And yeah, it was wild. My entire body just turned to jelly.
Yeah.
And my heart was like beating out of my chest. And I was like, I think
Jesus.
I don't know. Like fear barely even describes what came over me in that 5 seconds of madness.
Yeah. Loss of control.
Yeah. So I just wanted to talk about
What's
it.
your
It
wreck
was
then?
nuts.
What do you reckon? Your car and your body.
Public transport's great.
It's pretty good.
Be out of control.
Tram life.
Be out of control is not what I meant.
No, it's not.
It's nice to not have to be in control of something.
Yeah, because being out of control is what you had.
Yeah. I was, and I hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day, I went to an office works, and I was about to like back into a spot. So, I was in front of a couple of other cars, and I noticed the car behind, to the side of me, put on their reverse lights. I'm like, okay, I'll just, get out of their way. And then they just started moving. And I'm like, are you freaking, like,
I'm here.
12 hours, probably 9 hours ago, I nearly just crashed my car. And then this guy is just trying to back into me.
Yeah, so it's the same guy. He's pissed off.
Probably, yeah.
It's some weird Final Destination thing. You skip that, and then he just kills you later.
That's it. I skipped death.
Yeah.
And it's still after me. But just
My God.
I just jumped on the horn and stopped. He stopped.
Jumped on the horn.
Yeah, I backed in and just didn't look at him because I'm like, I don't want an interaction with this guy. Like,
Yeah. No.
that was a stressful
12 hours.
12 hours of life. My goodness, it sucked.
Good. Well, thanks for that. I'm glad that you're
welcome.
alive.
Made it.
Well done. Limited run. That was It was a limited. There you go.
Yeah, my time is very limited though. On a limited run.
No more runs.
I'm skipping death too many times.
Good. Well, let's skip the end of this podcast. Ends. It's over. Welcome to the end of the podcast where we tell you what's coming up on the channel. Coming up, recorded, ready to go, our Werewolf by Night podcast will be out this week. It's still spooky season, so we're going to talk about spooky things. Tomorrow, time of recording, I don't know when it'll go up on the channel, but sometime this week, Sam and I are sitting down and watching the final episode of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who.
Nice.
There'll be a commentary track from that, as well as probably a little podcast out of the back of that. So look forward to that. And we're playing Gotham Knights, but you've probably already watched that because of time.
Yeah, and if Will doesn't hate it, we might continue playing it.
Might play it again.
Or we'll go back to Dead Island, maybe.
Yeah, the better multiplayer game made by Warner Brothers. I don't get Dead Island feels like it should be Warner Brothers games. It feels like a Warner Brothers game.
It feels like it should have been a movie that got turned into a game.
Yeah. It feels like it should have had a sequel by now. And it is soon. And if you want to see those live streams, they happen on twitch.tv/etonline. If you want to give us any money, which you don't have to, but you can go to patreon.com/each to their own. If you've been listening to us all this time and you want to see our faces, you go to youtube.com/each to their own. If you've been seeing us and you don't want to see us anymore, you can just search ETTO on a podcasting app of your choice.
Yeah. And surprise to Josh, we have a TikTok. I didn't know. We've had it for months, I think.
We have.
Had no idea, but I only found out last week.
There you go.
Just wanted to mention that one.
Yeah, I'm sure you can just search ETTO for that as well.
Probably, yeah. Because Will and Ben both, well, at least Ben thought that I was joking. I'm sure Will didn't.
I knew you didn't know.
Yeah, very much knew that I was out of the loop on that one.
Yeah.
So fun times. I learned because of our card, I think.
Imagine if you didn't know and then you were scrolling through TikTok and saw yourself.
Yeah, that'd be
just all of a sudden.
that would have been cool.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame.
Yeah. I don't scroll TikTok enough these days. It's been a while. I haven't been on and gone through everything the Dolphins tagged me in over the last 3 weeks.
You could add some news. You could have had some more.
Probably they probably would have been.
There's probably some good stuff.
Damn it.
Tune in next week for Josh's belated but just Dolphin spam of news.
That's right.
Josh is sorted for a week now.
Keep you up to date. Very not up to date at all.
A date, just not the current ones.
Play date coming soon.
Ooh, let's end this podcast.
Let's do it.
Until the next ETTO's catch up, which hopefully will be next week. I've been Will.
I've been Josh.
Good night, Australia.
Night.